Tonight on Made in Northern New York, we're heading to Fort Drum, behind the scenes of military trainings, rarely seen by civilians. The man taking us there, Captain Travis Shaw. I want to start the special tonight by just thanking you for your service and thanking you for all you do for this great country.
Thank you for the acknowledgement. Thank you.
He was inspired to serve after one of our nation's greatest tragedies.
Got a report in that there's been some sort of explosion at the World Trade Center in New York City.
9/11, that first sparked my interest in providing some type of support and service to our nation.
Since enlisting, he's deployed.
I've deployed twice to Afghanistan and Iraq.
And met all sorts of people.
And interact with so many different people from so many different backgrounds has been so enriching and fulfilling.
Those people abroad and right here at Fort Drum, our 10th Mountain soldiers. You've been inviting us out to enjoy some really great opportunities to get a behind-the-scenes look on what's going on at Fort Drum. When we hear a bang, sometimes we don't know what those bangs are coming from. And we really got to see those trainings like nobody else, so thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm glad you guys came out and able to capture and see a lot of the story of what's happening at Fort Drum.
And what is happening at Fort Drum? Well, a lot. From people sending out commands from the backs of trucks.
194.
Safe.
Quadrant 465.
Safe. Send it.
Send it.
To the teams of soldiers receiving those commands with giant pieces of weaponry. To our first stop, out in the snow.
Eagle, 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 wait here.
Then we meet Lieutenant Colonel Gowanek, and the mission we were doing with him, pretty complicated.
What Lieutenant Colonel Galanik was explaining as the battalion commander was the squad live fire.
The mission for the squad was to approach the urban objective, to provide support by fire, to get up onto this building and then enter and clear and destroy all the enemy that were inside here.
Shooting from afar. And entering carefully.
Jack's moving. Wait, let's go.
Right into their very first target. As the soldiers enter in here, what's the first thing that they're seeing that they're doing?
So as soon as the soldiers enter this building here, immediately what they saw is that target that's directly to their
Over here.
front. And so what happens in a shoot house like this is the soldiers will engage a target. As soon as they hit it, it drops to the ground.
One of those soldiers doing this, Staff Sergeant John Summers.
Without constant repetition, you can't become a master of your craft.
Then we meet Staff Sergeant John Summers, who brought back a lesson that we've all learned a million times of practice makes perfect.
So Staff Sergeant Summers is absolutely correct. So with all the training we do, we rehearse, practice and practice and practice. That way, something that you probably heard before, you make the mistakes where it's not as costly, because you don't want mistakes in live action or in actual combat, because it's costly when you lose lives.
These trainings, the foundation to saving those lives.
Over there. Let's go.
Training like this, you need these foundations to even step foot into enemy territory. Without that, you're risking lives.
These servicemen and women putting themselves in harm's way for the greater good.
There are definitely adversaries out there in the world that are modernizing their formations, that are training really hard as well. So we know that to stay ahead of our adversaries, that we have to be better trained than them. And so it's our obligation, it's our responsibility to make sure that we train our soldiers so we're ready at a moment's notice.
Part of that is on-the-ground medical training for when things don't go well.
Pretty good. Still going. Still going. All right, that's nice and tight. What are we looking for?
Looking for pulling the blood.
Stop. Bright red bleeding has stopped.
And preparing to still be at their very best, even when tired and worn out. Despite the snow on the ground, these soldiers right here have been out here for 3 days now.
Just infantry tactics. We got to be able to maneuver on the enemy at any environment, whether it's snow, as you can see right now, whether it's heat. We just have to be able to operate in all environments. That's why we're doing our urban training now, to make sure that we're ready for any fight that we're given.
After the break, the sun comes out, and so do some loud noises. We head to an artillery training that will shake the ground.